3 testify divine. 1 John chapter 5 verse 7, no lie. Can you see the GodHead's design? Revelation 21 verse 7, divine sign. Jesus, God in heaven reigning supreme. No weapon from condemn the blessed dream. God's alive, reverence, face, no tokens. Perfect love, holy one, never broken. 3 in 1, GodHead's group begun. GodHead, the victory is won. Let him know, brother. Let him know. Yeah. Come on. Let him know, brother. Let him know.
So, I just make the point. So, for the New Testament, for the Old Testament, for example.
Nazam.
For the Old Testament, we have the Dead Sea Scrolls. The Dead Sea Scrolls is one of the most amazing finds of manuscripts for the Old Testament. For the New, we have...
When were they found?
200 years before Christ.
200 years before Christ. And they're referring to the Old Testament, right?
Referring to the Old Testament.
How many years after the Old Testament are those Dead Sea Scrolls there?
No, it's a long time.
A long time.
Yeah,
after.
a long time.
Are they regarded by the Jews as a heretical sect?
Sect?
Yes.
So you're saying...
The people that wrote that,
do the Jews...
do they regard them as a heretical sect?
They may do, I may not do, but I don't think that they reject.
So now what I'm saying to you is that
they don't reject the consistency that we see today. So can you imagine 200 years before Jesus, the same Dead Sea Scrolls which says exactly, because I've got one in my bag, the same Dead Sea Scrolls which says XYZ about Genesis, Exodus, all the way to Malachi, is exactly what I'm reading today. There's no change. There's no change.
I mean, one of the things that we were discussing, apart from the Dead Sea Scrolls,
very respectful.
we talked about. No, he's even more respectable than me.
I know that. Yeah.
Nazam, I said to the brother that 1 John 5:7, that academics Christian scholars, widely agree that this was a marginal note that was interpolated, fabricated into the Bible. And the earliest, I think, is found in the 16th century.
16th century,
right?
Greek manuscript.
So what the brother's saying to me...
Maybe 13.
Okay, let's say 13 to 16th century. Now, what the brother is saying to me is that in the Latin, it existed between the 1st and the 2nd century.
Never heard that. There's no 1st century manuscript in the New Testament.
No, I say 1st to the 2nd.
1st to 2nd century.
Now, the thing is, what I was saying to...
Are you aware of any manuscripts, Nazam?
There's no manuscript of 1 John
the
1st and 2nd century.
The reason why Nazam would be in agreement is because, let's be honest, Nazam, you're looking and thinking about the Greek, aren't you?
Not just the Greek, but even translations of the New Testament.
No, but
usually the translations come later than the Greek manuscript.
But you're not considering the Latin, are you?
Even Latin was done later as well. Right?
No, so we have the old...
Translated by Jerome.
Okay, so yes, because you're thinking Jeromes Vulgate. But have you heard of, is the Old Latin before James Vulgate?
Which Latin, sorry?
It's called the Old Latin.
Not heard of that, sorry.
So this is what I'm saying, because it's in the Old Latin, which is before Jeromes Vulgate in the 4th century. The actual verse, 1 John 5:7, appears almost 6,000 times. You have to realize, the Bible has up to almost 40,000 manuscripts. Minimum 25,000. Minimum.
So you're saying to me...
So the attestation is super strong.
1st to the 2nd century, that 1 John 5:7
in the Latin
is found over 6,000 times.
In the Latin.
In the Latin.
Correct.
Have you heard of any scholar that makes that claim?
No, I tell you why. See, I don't need to make this up because you guys are definitely going to look into it.
So why did all the other, apart from the King James Version, why did all the other Bibles expunge that verse out if there's so much evidence that it actually existed?
So Greek manuscript prior to the 16th century?
So firstly, there is a standard when it comes to translation of the Bible. There's a gold standard for the English. Because the gold standard of translating the Bible, it has to come from the school of Antioch because the doctrine fits in. Whereas the school of Alexandria has connotations with Arianism. So there is some challenges there, which the church overcame. And I think you know about the whole Arius and the whole heresy thing. But anyway, the point is, you know the truth by the history, the archaeology, the paleontology, the lectionaries, and all this source material. And when you look at the King James, for example, what you're getting is, in fact, the cost of the investment of making sure that this was translated from the Hebrew, Aramaic, and the Greek. If we were to put it in calculate it financially, it's beyond. I mean, it's so much money compared to any other translation we have today. And by the way, we know there was at least 40 scholars that were working full-time, 100% dedicated by royal appointment. We also know that Cambridge University, they are the licensed patentee of the King James. This King James is under the royal crown, as we know in this country. The licensees is Cambridge University. To get a copy of the King James, to put it publicly anywhere, you have to go through Cambridge University. So the prestige, the scholarly credibility is super, super high. And when you have thousands upon thousands and thousands of manuscripts, the question then is what is this actually saying? The message is consistent. The message is the same.
Okay, so this is the problem
What's
now.
the percentage of those Greek manuscripts that come after the 9th century?
What percentage?
Yeah, so there's
Okay, I
5,000,
see.
so how many of them are post-Islam basically, or after Islam?
So I think a lot so there's I would probably say, to give a percentage of after the 9th century,
Who's filming here?
it's,
How many
it's
minutes?
disputed in a way. It's like, how many,
Okay.
how far is apple fall from the tree kind of thing.
From what I remember,
It's
the
not-
streams that you guys did on the historicity streams
Yeah.
with Brother Ijaz,
Yeah.
about 90% of them
Yeah.
are after the 9th century. So vast majority.
Look, here's the problem that I have. Here's the problem that I have.
I'd question it.
You paint a picture of the inerrancy of what you hold in your hand, which is the King James Version, the Bible. Here's the problem.
No, it's more to that. It's the actual
No.
credibility of just how many manuscripts it has a
Well,
consistent
To
message.
support being inerrant.
Oh no, just like, for example, the archaeological proof.
Yeah, so you're supporting the fact that it's inerrant, unchanged, the Word of God, accurate, recorded faithfully. That's what you're claiming, right? There's a big problem with that. Your biblical scholars don't agree.
When you say your biblical scholars, that's interesting. I think that's interesting.
I'm saying the majority of biblical scholars,
Okay.
many church-going scholars,
Okay.
do not agree on an academic level that the Bible that we have today are the exact words of Jesus or the revelation that was given to Jesus. None of them, bar, I would say, an absolute, incredibly small minority, a handful, who believe it on faith,
Okay.
not because of the academia.
Okay.
Now, the manuscripts that you talk about, they don't agree with one another. They contradict each other.
That's interesting.
They have verses that you can, through time, the older the manuscripts, the more inaccurate and the more errors you find.
Okay. Okay.
Now,
I-
there's more differences. So the problem. So listen.
I disagree with that, but
Well,
go ahead.
you can disagree.
I'll respond after.
I understand. Look, you can disagree if you want to, but the thing is this: disagreeing whilst opposing the evidence is not an academic way of, I believe, formulating a rejection of something. My rejection of the Bible and its authenticity is based upon that evidence of manuscripts, of the scholarly, the textual critics, many of whom are church-going scholars, who are telling me that here's the manuscript of the 6th century, here's one in the 10th, here's one on the 15th, here's the one today, and they don't agree. They're different. And the further back we go, the more errors we find. And from that, they extrapolate that it makes sense that if you were to go even further, because remember, the earliest manuscripts we have are what? P45, P52, right? How big are those manuscripts? Credit card sizes. Yes? Even they do not agree exactly to what you have in your hand today.
Can I respond?
So
After, yes.
So it's all well and good you saying I don't accept it, I don't agree, I agree that this is trustable, but I would say to you that the textual evidence, physical, and the scholars themselves agree with my position and not your position.
Okay, that's interesting. So I do believe there are a number of scholars that see the Bible as a rational text. Like I said, I mentioned Peter Williams, which I think is a very credible scholar. He's done some fantastic work. He's a scholar at Cambridge University. So this is
what does he mean by rational?
So his argument is, when we're reading the Bible, we have to reason with the text. And so, for example, when we look at the Bible, it says exactly what it does on the tin. So, for example, if it says that the river of Jordan is here, Nazareth is here, Galilee is here, you can go and find those places. If it makes reference of rivers and bodies of water, the Red Sea, the Dead Sea, you can go and find those places. If it...
About half an hour, we have 6,000 people coming this way.
Okay.
So that's just one little example. Now, if we look at the most credible ancient textbook of antiquity, you cannot ignore the Bible because of the historical, archaeological, paleontological connotations and connections. You can use the Bible to find Israel. You can use the Bible to find Palestine. You can use the Bible to find, for example, where Pharaoh lived. You can use the Bible to find where Moses lived, and so forth and so forth. There is a credibility of antiquity that is at the moment unmatched by any other ancient book. Now, with respect to the Bible, I understand that the Quran, its evidence, or should we say its way of establishing its credibility is through the chain of narration. But then we know what history says about the chain of narration versus written manuscripts. History says that it's better that it's written down and attested by multiplicity.
But you don't have that. That's the
do.
point.
No, we do. We do.
Look, you've said a few things here.
I'll just say this one bit.
I understand, but you're making many points. I can't remember all your points.
No, I'll just...
Please, if you could just... Yeah,
just really quick. So just the key point is really, this book is a classic book, unmatched, unrivaled, of antiquity. It gives us a lot of detail that we can use as a compass. You're repeating yourself. You're repeating yourself.
That's
the bit I want to say, but
okay,
I'll let you come in. Yeah, go ahead.
The thing here is this. Yeah. It gets historical facts wrong as well. That's one thing. Just because he gets some historical...
That's interesting.
I'll give you the historical fact. Which was the king under King David when the zombies come out of... What is that?
That's in Matthew's Gospel. The resurrection.
About the resurrection. Yeah. And zombies, the dead come out of the graves. Yeah? Let me just...
let me let you finish. Sorry, I don't want to interrupt you.
So, first of all, there's no historical account of that ever happening. This is a claim that's being made here. Right, now, hold on a second. Now, what would you expect people to do if they see the dead suddenly coming out of the grave? Nobody mentions it. Is that rational? Is that reasonable? I would say no. There are many things within the Bible, for example, that are contradictory about historical events. So, for example, even the words of Jesus, one gospel will say that he said this, the other gospel says he said something different. One gospel will say he stayed silent and didn't speak to anybody, the other gospel will say that he did speak. Even the plaque above the cross of Jesus, depending upon which gospel you read, it will be different. Different wordings. So to argue the case that you find a consistent, trustable historical method within the Bible, I don't think that's being accurate.
Okay,
I'm not going to say dishonest, because I think you're trying to be honest. I don't believe it's accurate. I think also the scholar that you talked about, that the Bible is, you said the reading the Bible is, what was the word that you used? He said, the scholar that you mentioned, rational. That does not in any way answer the question that I gave you about not whether it's rational in terms of reading, and there's some mention of some sites that you can find, but the inerrancy, the preservation, because that is clearly argued by Christian scholars not to be the case.
Okay.
So I don't think you tackled any of those issues, quite frankly.
Okay.
And so for me, a book of God can't make contradictions. It can't say one thing here and a different thing there.
Yeah.
It can't say Satan inspired David, and then somewhere else it says God inspired David. That's a clear contradiction. It can't be God and Satan. Okay. It can't be Satan, and it can either be God or it can either be Satan. That's a clear contradiction, right? Now, there are many other contradictions about age. The king was, 8 years old or 18 years old. Mm-hmm. So I would argue with you that actually these are all problems and issues that you can't just simply say it's the most invested Cambridge University have done this.
Cambridge University Press. But
we don't have any early manuscripts dated before the 1st century, 2nd century.
No.
Even those are credit card sizes. Significant manuscripts come in the 5th and the 6th century. That's 500 years after Jesus. Now you said to me, brother, you said to me the oral tradition is not one.
No, we believe in oral tradition.
No, I know, but you said the oral tradition is not the one you believe to be the robust one. You believe the written text is robust, but you don't have any written text before the first few centuries.
Not true.
So therefore, you were relying upon people just telling people.
Including the Dead Sea Scrolls as well?
The Dead Sea Scrolls are not the New Testament.
No, but that's part of our Bible.
Yeah, but they're not the New Testament. We're talking about the New Testament here, aren't we?
Like I was saying, the Old Latin is very, very strong.
Yeah, but no scholar that I know has argued what you're arguing.
Or the Syriac Peshato.
No scholar that I've heard is arguing
I don't know why.
1 John 5:7 is mentioned 400 or 500 times. Can I just go and pray, and then you can speak to Brother Nazam? I'll be back in 5 minutes.
Okay.
Is that all right?
Continue, or?
Yeah, of course. I don't know whose microphones these are.
Okay,
just keep them.
No, you have them, and then I'll come back maybe.
Okay,
just take them. Just hold them. Let me go and pray, otherwise I'm going to miss my prayer.
I never got the chance to.
I'll have to pray as well.
I'll be very quick, inshallah.
I don't know how to take that off.
Okay, hold on.
That one's yours.
Yours?
That's you can put that on as well. That's okay. I can.
Is this one yours as well?
Let's put it on this side. This one, this one's mine. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Okay.
Probably have to finish as well.
Yeah. No, that's fine. No, it'd be good to
Respond.
And finish. But it's very, very interesting because I think one of the things I was trying to allude to was the fact that so when you look at the Bible in terms of antiquity, books of antiquity, I think historically the Bible, in a way, with respect, stands alone.
Because there's ancient antiquity and then there's antiquity.
I'll just say this really quickly, brother. So in terms of ancient antiquity, so when we look at, for example, the time of Christ and even before that, what we can see is rationality within the text. For example, like I was saying earlier, you can find the places it talks about in the Bible.
Independently corroborated, like David.
Corroborates with all sources and angles of truth.
Library as well.
Exactly.
Museum rather. So,
And so the archaeology is almost one of the most authentic, amazing ways of saying, I am true. So, for example, they found an inscription of King David. They found an inscription of Pontius Pilate on a plaque. And we know that Tacitus.
Pilate's mentioned in Josephus as well.
Yeah, because but then also we know that Tacitus, who you have to understand Rome.
Roman historian.
Absolutely, he says that the Lord Jesus Christ of Nazareth was put to death. He received the death penalty by Pontius Pilate during the reign of Tiberius. This is somebody that's unbiased. This is somebody that has no affiliation with Christianity. In fact, he was persecuting the Christians. So why would somebody say that and be telling a lie?
What about the tax census that Luke mentions at the time of Jesus' birth? There was a tax census, and this was done by Ananias or something like that. But that seems to contradict like what Josephus says as to when this Caesar existed, or Augustine or something.
Yeah, so this is the thing about the Gospels has many angles on the events. Because when we're talking about the Gospel, all we're talking about is like a historical account of the Lord Jesus Christ of Nazareth. We're just talking about his life from different angles. So people want the exact same angle. But like it's the same way you see all these cameras, there's a reason why they're on different angles. I have a problem with there being contradiction. Because with the contradictions, it gives you like independence. Like both Matthew and Luke have two independent narratives with regards to Jesus' birth. Yes. It's not like one is copying from the other, but both have pre-existing source materials that they're using. I know you're mentioning about Q, and that's the thing. I believe that the actual historical accounts, they, by beauty, verify each other.
You're back.
He's back.
We would like you to perhaps come on to one of our streams.
That'd be great.
Because we're going to, and bring somebody with you.
Okay.
A scholar, whoever you'd like. Yeah. And we can have a really nice long discussion.
Get Peter Williams involved. That would be so good, man. He's like way up there.
I know him as well. So
are you aware of him?
We know each other, yeah.
No way.
Yeah, we've met a couple of times.
Oh wow, see, that's awesome. He's really good.
By all means, do that.
Yeah.
And I think because we're going to pack
up now,
because it's quite late.
But it was an absolute pleasure, talking.
The reason why I'm inviting you on the stream is that I think these are the sort of respectful discussions that really we should have.
Yeah, I agree.
And look, we can agree to disagree. Yeah. But at the end of the day, you're a brother in humanity. We're hopefully brothers. We're the children of Adam. Yeah. We're all the children of Adam, right?
Absolutely.
So we can disagree. We might not be brothers in faith, but we can be brothers in humanity, right?
Yeah, totally.
And we can shake hands and we can be friends and and be kind and nice to one another. Hopefully help one another. But we can have these nice discussions as well. I think it's very important.
Absolutely.
Yeah? But you've got our card.
Oh, yes.
And on that, we have a stream every other Sunday. So next Sunday, there will be a stream.
Sundays? You do Sundays?
Yeah.
What time?
In the evening, around 8 p.m., 8:30, something like that.
Wow. Okay.
Jazz will be really good to speak to you.
Yeah. And by all means, bring a scholar along the way, because it'd be nice to have a proper discussion.
I'll try. If I come, it might be me the first time, and then at some time at some point.
Whatever you're comfortable with.
Yes.
But it was really nice to meet you.
I have to commend you because, like I said, and I sort of put it on my, content that the experienced Muslims, they're not debating the experienced believers, and you've
we obviously like to do that.
So that's
because just to speak to people who are going to shout and scream at each other. That's not what we. That's not what we want to do.
Yeah, kudos.
It was really nice.
Yeah, really good. Good talking to you.
Yeah?
All the best. Have a good one. Yes.
Heaven's glory, free, testify divine. 1 John chapter 5 verse 7, no lie. Can you see the GodHead's design? Revelation 21 verse 7, divine sign. Jesus, God in heaven, reigning supreme. No weapon from condemn the blessed dream. God's alive, reverence, face, no tokens. Perfect love, holy one, never broken. 3 in 1, GodHead's group begun. GodHead, the victory is won. Let him know, brother.